Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a flight. This is flight SkyDream 1996 Heavy. We're a Airbus A340-600 in the Virgin Atlantic paint from Honolulu to Los Angeles. Unfortunately I don't have scenery for Honolulu, but we will have scenery for Los Angeles, so it should be a good flight. The flight time should be no more than 6 hours. And let's jump into the cockpit. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the cockpit. This isn't the first time. If you've watched my other videos, this isn't the first time you've been into the cockpit of the Black Box Simulations A340. I've only loaded the fuel, I've turned the lights on, but that is all I've done. I know obviously I've opened the doors. As I said before, we've got default scenery here at Honolulu. We've got FSx-MP Team LAX at LAX. You have FSx-MP Team's GSX powering the ground services. It's like catering is just done. I'll request boarding. We have Rex 4 texture direct, doing the clouds, and active sky doing the weather. Obviously Rex doing the sea as well, which I don't think you'll see, but we Orbex FTX global as well. Now you will have to excuse my mouse, it's not working at the moment. It's very touchy. It's not at its best performance ever. Unfortunately all 3 MCDUs in the Black Box A340 are linked, but other than that I think this is a pretty good aeroplane. Its click spots and some of the lighting effects aren't bang on, and the throttle gate controls aren't very good, and I believe it's unstable on a lot of systems. However, mine works pretty much perfectly. So in this video, I think I might put it into 2 parts. This will just be the departure, and then maybe a few images when we get up to cruise, and that's it for now. Okay, so we'll start on the overhead. The batteries are on and the external power's on at the minute. That's what we're currently sat on. I've already aligned the ADIRSs and everything that should be pressed is in. But Airbus tends to operate a very simple lighting configuration. If it's showing off or press, you kind of need to turn it on. Where if it's just a fault like that, I mean obviously these are the electrical generators at the minute, the engines aren't running, so you can understand that. But if anything shows up, then it just usually means you can press it. It's known as a dark configuration cockpit, and that is just how Airbus operate, and personally I prefer it. I'm more of an Airbus person, a lot of you may know that already. So fuel is done, so we'll put the signs on. Make sure the emergency lights are on. The dome light is on at the minute. We can put our actually no, we can leave them off for the moment. And we'll jump down. So today we're doing the routes, which I will have to put in manually because you can't import company routes into this aircraft yet. There is a folder for it, but I don't think the MCDU reads it. So we're doing PHNL, sorry, my bad. We're doing Honolulu to KLAX. There. You see what I mean by my mouse? I'm moving it quite a lot and it's not actually doing anything. This won't be the first time you've seen this flight on my channel as well. I did the arrival into LAX, other than I had default scenery. So, and I've never actually talked to you guys in terms of commentary. I've never really spoken to the channel much. So I'm using this video as a bit of an opportunity for you guys to get to know me, and we'll talk about plans on the channel. I'm currently got a few projects going, so look forward to them, including a plane spotting video into London Heathrow. with UK 2000 scenery and a lot of add-on aircraft, and one of which that will be included will be the Black Box A330 that comes as part of the A330 A340 pack, as you'd expect. The company cost index for Airbus long-haul aircraft is 55. Any flights over 3 hours, we at SkyDream we use 55, and we're flying SkyDream 1996, or in that one 1886. I'm currently connected to the FSx-MP Server. Obviously as well, not the first time you've seen that on the channel. There's no ATC on as it's still pretty early for me. There will be no ATC on unless someone jumps on while we're in cruise. And cruising will be at 350.
Morning.
There we go. So, zero fuel weight. It's just quite simple. It's right click. Right click. Block. You can see here. So 67. I always round it up to 67.5. That just makes your speeds a little bit higher, but it's on the safe side. 67.5 tons of fuel. This is part of a hop around the world I did. I did Manchester, Dubai, Singapore. Now I'm going to do yeah, Singapore, then Singapore, Sydney, here. So out of Honolulu today we'll be taking, let me look on PFBX, we'll be taking the 08 right on the MKK4 departure. I don't think this has the 08 right, this is just 08, isn't it? Oh yeah, there we go. 08 right. So not the longest runway, but not particularly the shortest one either. This aircraft does need a lot of runway to get off into the air. It's not a particularly fast airplane. There's a KLAX one, yeah, KLAX transition. So there you go. That's the departure route in. And then from KLAX we'll be taking the Romeo 465. Anyway. There aren't that many great videos out there either of the there are a few great videos of the A340-600, and I'm not saying this one will be great, but I'm going to Civet. But this gives you more of a look into the inside of the workings of this if you're looking into this. Obviously Aerosoft have just released it there, have just announced that they're working on an A330, A340. So I think I'm also going to get that, and I might, so you'll see some videos on them. That will be fun. Looking forward to them. I like their A320s, however there is a big problem with it. There's a really big problem, is that the A320 has packet issues. I can't fly it on this server because this server uses packets, and in the PMDG aircraft I'll get between 70 and 160 packets, whereas in the Airbus you can have anything from like 800 to 1200. I don't know why, and when I contacted Aerosoft to say why, they said they didn't know, so
Morning. Thank you.
There you go, mouse being its all respective self. If anyone knows anything about the A320, the Aerosoft one, and as to why its packets are so high, please let me know, because it's not a great thing. And like I said, I asked Aerosoft, and they said nobody else has complained, where I know that other people have this issue because other people have tried it. RZS. We're going direct then to Romeo Zulu Sierra.
Hello. Welcome aboard.
There you go. So we'll just have a quick flip through now, look for any discontinuities. So obviously you can see top of climb is quite a lot. The aircraft is quite light in terms of fuel load today. We are on our maximum takeoff weight though in terms of passengers. So I will be taking flight flaps 3. We're 0.8 up trim.
Morning. Thank you.
3 with 0. Come on. 0.8 up trim. And I'll trim this before we leave as well. And I'll do it once the engines are started, and we'll do it once we push back. A lot of the time, GSX doesn't work with this airplane. I'm surprised it is now, but let's not jinx it. And then, as we did before, right click, right click, right click. And there we go. Okay, so V2176 plus 20196. That's our initial climb out speed. The scroll wheel isn't brilliant either. No, it's not great, this airplane. It's really well. The click spots. It's a bit broken in some respects, but the aircraft is still in beta. Yeah, that's right. And well, our initial climb is up to 350. See that? It's not. There are some aspects of it that still need work. I'm not going to lie. 360. Here we go. And going to active sky next. The Q and H, or the altimeter setting. I'm going to change it over to the inches in mercury. Not hectoscales. Hop over. So this is like an aircraft review, really. It's not brilliant. It's really good on frames. I'm not going to lie. Oh, baggage is done. It's really good on frames. It's modelled really well. I'm sure that you can get some HD textures for it. I've not really looked though. Close to 2 cargo doors. But no, it is a good. It is a good airplane. It flies really well. It bounces. I'm not going to lie. It bounces a lot. It's a bit happy. I had to make a go around when I landed into here because it bounced. It was a really nice landing. It was standard call outs. And it was really nice to touch down, except it sort of touched and then bounced, which is not ideal. Okay, so we'll leave it on this page for now. We'll check that the doors are closed and locked. There you go, doors are closed. Let's try and get this. But no, click spots is I think are the biggest issue. Hey, there we go. 2992. What did I say it was? 2990. Come on. No. Click spots, man. There we go. 2990. We'll set it on the side as well.
Hello. Hello.
And we'll leave that one for now. And we'll put this on the arc.
Hello.
Come on. There you go. GSX is taken away. Okay, so that for now is everything that I can think of. We'll leave the transponder set to 1200. We're currently on TA only. No, the lights are on. Radios are set on 1605, which is Unicom. Okay, I'll speak to you when you get back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so now GSX have just completed boarding, and I've just removed the door, so we'll now turn the EPU bleeds on. So before we turn our EPU bleeds on, we'll turn the nav and logo lights on, turn the beacon on, so people know that we're going to start. The EPU master and the EPU start, before turning the EPU bleed on. I've just found another little quirk of this aircraft, is that if you press the button, the star button on your num key, it disconnects ground power, and I was sat on ground power and I wanted to record, so I hit the button, which was my record button, and the power went, everything turned off, so I've had to completely redo the MCDU. But nevertheless, we're now just waiting for APU to start. As you can see now on the screen, it's starting. The ECAM is also fully both upper and lower ECAM are very functional. The upper ECAM seems a bit laggy, but I don't know what that's like compared to real life. The lower ECAM is a bit smoother, and it's okay to navigate. As you can see, look, some of the night lighting isn't brilliant. These, you see that how some of the lights sort of shadow, as you can tell, like the layered. Don't know if you can see that, but that's the thing. That's what I was talking about before, about all the lights not being too accurate, but it's accurate enough that you can still read them, obviously. Okay, so our APU now is ready to go, so we'll request pushback from the GSX guys. The ground power disconnects automatically. We don't have to worry about that. I think 08 is... oh, what's the name? What is it? There, I think that's them there. So that's where we'll go. Oh no, apparently they're right behind us. Oh yep, the runway's right behind us here actually. Okay, so the taxi won't be that long, but the runway seems quite a good distance. As you can see, look, the exterior textures is just off the back of the wing. You have the ground reflections. I really like that. For some reason, GSX isn't wanting to give us a push. There's always something, isn't there? Something always happens. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. It's working now. 2. So we want to go to nose left, tail to the right. So what I'll do now before we leave then is we'll ensure that the steering tiller is changed over. So now we're nose wheel steer with our rudder controls. The throttle are on idle. The ignition is start. The engine start selector is on ignition. All the lights are as needed. Auto brake is on maximum. The terrain and weather radar don't work in this, by the way. Obviously the aircraft's playing beta, so we're not quite back. We're not quite there yet. The EPU bleed and master is on, and the start is avail, which it is. Which means it's available, so it means we can disconnect that now, and everything should stay as it is. Perfect. So I'll turn off the floodlights. So now we're in our dark cockpit. Woo! Flight director's turned on as standard, so I won't worry too much about that. I do have track IR on as well. I'm just not using it yet. New on time GSX. This aircraft, the A340-600, to feed you in with a bit of facts, it's 2 meters longer than the 777-300. So it's actually longer than the 777, just only by 2 meters. The engines are the more powerful versions of the 300, 400, 500 series of this aircraft, with the 500 series obviously being the longest operational commercial aircraft in the world, behind the A380. And when you start your engines, you always have to start the inboards first. So, and you can start 2 at a time, so we'll start engine 2, engine 3. And I'll let you listen to them start up. that's the exhaust gas temperatures and the N1 stabilizers. We'll start the outboard engine, and as you can see we started 2 and then 3, so this time we'll start 4 and then 1, just to keep the fuel balanced. Okay, engines are stabilized and sufficient, so engine 4 on, engine 1 on. Let's watch them. Okay, so both the engines now are just stabilising. They're not quite stabilised yet, but they're just stabilising. We're now just having our nose pushed around. You see a little marsh lead eye. But both the engines have now started, so we'll now turn the APU off. But before we do that, we'll check that the generator lights have gone off. You see where it says fault before? They've all gone off. And we have a positive flow battery. So the APU bleed come off. Must have come off. Okay. This, not the primary flight display, but the navigation, the radar display, it messes up sometimes. It's quite bizarre in what it does, and I don't never quite understand it. But it'll do this weird thing now with the lines that you see, that you probably saw it do before, and then I'll take off and I'll engage the autopilot and it'll just go back to being as it should. So, okay. Okay, so I think it's this departure we take off and make a right hand turn away from the city of Honolulu. You see the edge of the control tower over there. And we have got quite a long runway. Okay, another fun fact about this aircraft is that obviously 4 engines, no ETOPS regulation. But because it's so long, we won't flare past. Our initial flare won't be any more than 8 degrees. On the 777 it's 9, but in the Airbus manuals it does actually say 8. So we won't flare past 8 degrees on our initial. And we'll just wait for GSX. Where are you pushing us to? Pushing us to the threshold of the other runway. And you can see the wind is 051 at 5. So it'll be a slight crosswind from the right.
Set parking brakes.
Major. Okay, do that myself. They are set. So now I'll just run through my takeoff memory items. Now the hydraulics are on as well. I'll set flaps 3. And we'll make sure that these go down. The gear lever is down. The auto brake is on maximum. The gear is locked and safe. This now can clear. To the systems page, the status page, and it's all good. Brilliant. We'll now check the doors are all closed and locked.
Unlocking gear.
The electricals are going through. They are 48%. Brilliant. Just leave the engines on low revs at the minute.
Disconnected. Bypass being removed.
Hydraulic. We have good hydraulic controls. Fuel. Okay, no, that's the hydraulic page. Okay, I think I might just find another little bug. I've been finding it all this time and I've never even realised. No, that's the electrical page. That's the fuel page. So what's that page? No, that is the electrical page, but that's electrical AC. That's electrical DC. Right, okay. So the hydraulic page is, sorry, that's pretty much, that's never happened before. The fuel page has always been the fuel page for me. The APU, the APU. Okay, well that's good. Can I see the fuel page, please?
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay, that's bizarre. That's never happened before, really. Whenever I've clicked fuel page, your fuel page has always come up, but we'll trust that it's the same, and we've burned the sufficient amount of fuel for the moment. So we'll do the control check. So full down, center, full up, center, left, center, right, center, checked. Rudder pedals. We'll need to put the rudder back on here. Full left, full right, neutral, still steering tiller. We'll see that in a minute. Okay, so now we've been given the all good. Nose light to taxi. We don't need any wipers or anything. And the transponder can stay on TA only. Okay, let's rock and roll. This aircraft does need quite a bit of juice to get rolling. There we go. That's going to my joystick. That's about 10%. Like I say, we are quite light on fuel compared to some longer flights that we've done. The A340 of course will be going extinct soon. The only airline that I think has no plans to replace their A340 fleet is Virgin Atlantic. But Thai no longer operate them. Lufthansa are replacing theirs with 777s and the 747s, 800s. Swiss are replacing theirs with 777s and A330s. Well, the A330s compete more with the 767s, but they will be replacing theirs with 777s. So it'd be a shame to see the old girl. The aircraft is from the 80s, and the engines, although it has 4 of them, still, in my opinion, don't generate as much thrust as maybe the 777. If you ever see an A340 climb, it takes about 200 miles to climb whenever it's fully loaded, whereas a normal aircraft can take around about 100, 120, something like that. So the A340 is really, really, really underpowered. But the A340 never climbs on full thrust, whereas the 777 might. The autopilot systems on the A340 means it climbs on its climb setting, which is 1.8 on the EPR, which is 80%. Right now we're taxiing on 0.4%. Now if I return it to idle, it's 0. It idles very low, but the aircraft once in cruise is very efficient, but in climb I'm told it's one of the most inefficient aircraft ever. Don't quite understand. You'd think, really, wouldn't you, with 4 engines, you'd think it'd be more efficient because it could climb quicker, and I suppose it depends on the size of the engines. These engines are nowhere near the size of, say, the 777. Of course, the A340-600 and the rest of the A340 class are designed to compete with the 777 classes, so you probably will hear me referring a lot to the 777 when talking about the A340s. The Black Box Simulation does give you the full ECAM, so if something goes wrong it'll come up with a checklist there, and it gives you spoilers and, you know, all the basics. Reverse thrusters. It only recently introduced reversers. I'll be honest with you, I think this is, yeah, it is. We're going to need to cross here and go to the other one. Obviously this aircraft is a very long aeroplane. We'll turn right here. Left, sorry, turn right. Dope. We'll turn left. You got to, I've been flying aircraft such as Concorde, so aircraft like Concorde you do have to take into consideration where the nose wheel is, the steering nose wheel is, and it's really far back. Okay, Honolulu traffic schedule 1996 heavy, crossings runway 08 left at Romeo Bravo, we'll report in clear. There is traffic on the server. I filed my flight plan, but you never know where the traffic is. I could look, but it takes the fun out of it, I think. And we're across. The other runway is just follow this one now all the way around. Honolulu traffic schedule 1996 cross on Romeo Bravo clear on 08 left, taxiing 08 right, holding point Romeo Bravo 1. See if we can try and set this altimeter again. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Perfect. You do these screens, unlike on the Aerosoft A320, these screens aren't interlinked, so I can change one and not the other. He says, there you go. They do have that bit of lag in them, which is real. They do have that in real life. That looks like some trees on the left hand side. If you have any questions about this aircraft, feel free. It does have wing flex and things, so if you do have any questions about this aircraft, please do feel free to leave a comment, and I do read them all. I don't get that many, but I do read them all, and I will get back to you. We're not too far from departure now, so I'll make sure that everything's set. So our altimeters are 29.90 or 0.90 to our transatlantic cousins. The climb out speed set 196, and the V speed set V1 169, VR 173, and V2 176. Checks our cruising altitude 35, 36. I should know this by now. Yeah, the MCDU has no lights either. 3.5. Okay. The MCDU is totally unlit. And I think that's something that I'm sure will get worked on. But for the moment, it doesn't have. I don't know when the last update was, but it was a while ago, because there's not been an update while I've had it, and I've had it a while. I've put several hours on it. But I think in terms of, if you compare it to all the other like the CLS A340s and the Wilcos and things, this is definitely better, and I think this is probably the best A340 out there right now. Obviously Aerosoft are making theirs, and we'll see how that comes. Hopefully we won't have that packet issue that we were talking about earlier, but you never know. Okay, no smoking signs and seatbelt signs are on. I'm taxiing a bit quick, I know, but it's a long taxi. Okay, so I'll make sure we stop here. Now, something I have looked at, and I know that they do in real life, is obviously you have to make sure that you have your stick down. It's half down, so like that. So you'll see that until 80 knots. That's because the Airbuses are very light nosed. Honolulu traffic, schedule 1996 heavy, lining up 08 rights for immediate departure on the MKK1 departure, Honolulu. Alright, so before we enter the runway, I know I said that we'd enter it now, but that just begs my place on it. We'll start rolling, and we'll make sure that the landing lights are on, the nose lights on taxi, the nav and logo lights are on, the wing lights are off and the beacons are on. I'll give the cabin a quick ding dong. He says, there you go. For the cruise, seats for takeoff. And we'll check the ECAM and takeoff config. The seat getting in the way there. Perfect. Nothing. We're good. This the Black Box A340 and A330 don't have the RAAS. The entering 08 right, you know that they don't have that, unfortunately. It's a very long aircraft. I did overshoot the centre line, so we'll brake now. Okay, so because the throttles are actually connected to, computers, so you don't have to do the whole stabilisation thing. However, a lot of airlines still do, so I will. You can do the old Concorde call out, the 3, 2, 1 now. You can do that. I'm going to set the clock going as well. So there's 10%. The engines are stabilised, and you slowly advance them. Toga, 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 toga. Toga. Checked. Man to go white, SRS, and runway. Checked. Pushing the nose down. The nose wheel becomes less effective, as you can tell, and there's a rudder. So the nose can be level now. Boom, 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 boom. This aircraft does stop very quick, hence why the V1's so high. In real life, I think V1 will be back now. V1, rotate, so up comes the nose. This aircraft rotates beautifully. V2, positive rate of climb. Gear up. And right turn. And it's only a small right 20-degree turn. And we'll put the nose down now as well to gain a bit of speed. Now we're through 2,000 feet. And begin a slow left-hand turn. There's Honolulu. There's Hawaii. Aloha. It's a shame it's not daytime. And because the auto throttle is now engaged, we'll put the engine onto throttle climb, and the auto throttle has the engine. Now the cities are pretty much straight out departure apart from that small right-hand turn. 1 second. Flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. And just for the simple fact now that I have stuff to do, not in real life, but I have stuff in the aircraft to do. Okay, so after takeoff checklist, 1 second, flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. Engine mode selector, normal. Ground spoilers disarmed, checked on the ECAM, checked. We're at 5,000 feet until MKK, brilliant. The nose lights come off. Speed check, flaps up, speed check, flaps up. Oh, I must have left the, there's a seatbelt sign going off actually, so I know it's a bit early, but whoops. Okay, and TCAS is TARA, it is. And we'll leave the landing lights on until 10,000 feet. I'm still accelerating at the minute, while climbing at a vertical speed 1,900 feet per minute. This aircraft does take a while to climb, obviously replicating the real life one. Okay, altitude blue, checked. And there's 250 knots for now. Transition, because Hawaii is American owned, they operate in the FAA rulebook. I'm personally more of an ICAL person, but whatever. So transition is 18,000 feet. Honolulu traffic, SkyDream 1996, currently 6,000 up to 350 on the Mike Kilo 1 departure. Honolulu. We've got a good climb rate now out of and the gear is up, that's fine. Auto brake gets disarmed as soon as we rotate, so that's good. And we have nothing to be aware of. So now we're in the air. I'll give you a quick wing view of us climbing out. See the landing light. It's a shame it's dark. I've never actually flown here in daytime. So that'll be something to do, I think. There's a quick outside view. Again, you can't really see much because it's night time. But there's the Virgin Atlantic A340-600 climbing out of Honolulu. Obviously operating for SkyDream Virtual Airlines. $9,500. Okay, 10,000 feet, landing lights off. So now you know a bit about the aircraft. Now we're pretty much setting now for the flight. And I'll end the recording here, and we'll talk later on in the flight. See you then.